There's nothing neater than hearing an engine fire up for the first time and it hasn't run in 50 years. There's a nostalgia to all of it. And nostalgia to me is well, you can tell, it's a big part of my life. I love it. When I was first approached about the Jeep, the owner actually knew that I liked to do this type of stuff. It was actually so bad, I was hesitant to do the job when I first saw it. I didn't know that I could save it. The hesitation due to its condition was somewhat overshadowed by its history.
A man of my country went to war.
When I was a 14-year-old kid, I used to go out to my uncle's in Washington, D.C. He had this old Army Jeep, which he bought at Army surplus. This Jeep was in the war, served time in Italy. He needed it just as a kind of utility vehicle around his property. And I asked him what he was going to do with that old Jeep, and he said, well, nothing. And I said, well, do you want to sell it? He said, if you want that, he said, you can have it. Anyway, when Brandon got it, he had his work cut out for him.
My approach when I begin a job is to preserve as much of the integrity of the original things as possible. Everything has its own character that you don't want to sacrifice. We began with the body. We basically filled the entire Jeep until we started to come to a square shape again. The body actually straightened out much nicer than I ever expected it to. I shot a high build primer on the entire thing. After seeing it complete, I realized that I had to pull back the reins on what we were going to do to this vehicle. And in 1944, when these were built in Detroit on the assembly line, perfection was not what they were going for. These were a full functioning utility vehicle with no other purpose than to transport men and machine. It was tough to try and keep it on that lower level just by the sheen of the paint. We added a flattening agent to our clear coat just so that it didn't shine, because they weren't making these things shiny back in the day. We went with the Raptor 2K. The color was spot on. I can't recommend anything better. It just went further and further every day, and it's incredible. All right, here goes Kurt. This is quite an endeavor. Gonna present it to you now, and I'm not gonna say any more other than let you see it.
Oh my gosh. Jeez. Jeep.
In all its glory.
Wow.
It looks a little different than it did in our shop.
It's gonna bring people closer together, just for that few minutes of what America is and what we've had in our past, what we've gone through.
I think it would mean a lot to veterans if we drive this thing in a parade. The ones that are there, it would mean something to them to see that old Jeep, bring a lot of memories to those guys.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for all your hard work. I really appreciate it.
That is great. That is great.
It's not just a car. These are all telltale story pieces. I believe every vehicle has a story to tell, and I'm here to keep that alive.